The word alone always fascinated me because it contains the truth. Okay? It's all one. Alone. All one. So when you are alone, you're all one. You're whole. You're all one. And, to be 100% honest, I'm not cut out for relationships. I'm not cut out for commitments, long-term commitments, family, and anything really that involves society, if you will, social roles and, commitments to particular social roles. I'm not cut out for that. I'm not. I'm cut out for a solitary life. It's in solitude that I feel most at peace, most at ease, most whole, most complete, all one. That's how I feel when I'm alone, all one. I feel oneness. I feel I am infinite joy. I am infinite love. I am infinite beauty. And I look at everything and everyone and I bless it. Because I feel like I am full of this energy, of this love. And it's funny because it happens when I am all one, when I am alone. And, you have to see what your path is. Everybody's on a different path. For some people, their path is through community. It's through society. It's through social bonding and social roles. That's one particular path. You really have to know what your role is in the drama. What is your particular path to enlightenment? What is your particular path to God? And I know that my particular path is that of solitude, of solitary. My path is a solitary path. I'm in the perfect place, in the perfect island, really. You're not gonna find any more of a perfect place for yoga, for group yoga, group meditation. And all you have to do is just throw yourself in an area called Seritanu. It's basically full of, again, social activities involving meditation, involving yoga, ecstatic dancing, etc., etc. And I've heard about Zen Beach and many other beaches where all these activities take place. And 100%, to be 100% honest, I have no desire to partake in these activities. I haven't been to Zen Beach. I don't think I'm gonna go. And I just don't have the urge. I do not feel the urge to partake in these social, I'm sure very, very good and very uplifting events. Let's put that disclaimer out there. I'm sure that these events are uplifting, and I'm sure they're helping tremendously the people that are partaking in them. All I'm saying is I just don't feel particularly I have the urge or the need or the urge to attend these events. I find that if I could just sit here or even in my room on my bed and just close my eyes and just observe the rising and the falling of my breath and observe the breath calm down, I feel like for me, for my particular trip, my best friend is my breath, really. That's my amigo. And so that's probably why I could do this traveling thing very comfortably. In fact, I can't not do this traveling thing. The best way I serve the world, and I'm only sharing here just so you could see somebody else sharing, how they feel about their particular trip, and then you could also embody your particular trip, however it is. If you feel the urge to go and sing and dance with a bunch of people on the beach, hey man, by all means, do that, because that's your thing. So that's why I'm sharing here. I'm sharing here to just show you that, okay, that's That's how I particularly feel. And I can't not do this. I can't not be in solitude. I can't not be in solitude. It's much easier for me to be in solitude than not to be in solitude. It's, for a lot of people, it's more easy for them to be with others than to be alone. But for me, it's actually more difficult to be with people than to be alone. And this is coming from someone who had the reputation during his university years for being a social butterfly. And my apartment, 303 in Kamlat Towers, was the meeting point of so many different people that are still friends with one another. It was that apartment, my apartment, 303 Kamlat, where a lot of people met, because all the years in university I would host all these social gatherings, whether it's to play cards or to play, there was that game, what was it called? We'd spent 5-6 hours playing it. Oh man, it's, you have a territory, it's continents, it's a map, you have the continents, right? Africa, Asia. Oh god, how did I forget the name? We were addicts. Just five, I think only 5 people can play it, however many continents there are. Asia, Africa, Europe, and then South America, North America, Australia, maybe 6 people. 5 or 6 people. God, if you know what I'm talking about, just put the name of the game, right? I would host all these different things: FIFA, Call of Duty, meditation, or just talking about God or whatever. I'd get a bunch of people to come to my place and talk about it and drink tea. I've hosted so many of these events before. So I had the reputation for being a social butterfly in university. And I'll tell you this, it's easier for me to be alone than it is to be with people. I'm more at ease when I am alone. Like, I can't tell you how happy I am. I have been now, it's been 2 weeks here. And I can't tell you how happy I am to be alone. To be alone, to take a walk alone, to go back home and there's just me. Right? There's just me. That's just me. In a little hut with a hammock outside. I love it. I love it. I feel free. I feel spontaneous. I feel free and liberated. Like, just whatever. Yeah, you just do whatever. You get up, I get on the motorbike, I go to the coconut guy, I hang out with him. He cracks all the coconuts, put them in the bottles, right? I come here, I take a shower under the fire. It's just like being alone. Laying on my hammock for an hour or two, just observing my breath. Really, my best friend here, my company, is my breath. That's really my best friend. And I'll tell you, wherever I go, that seems to be my best friend. Whether I'm on the plane on the way here, whether I'm back in Canada, or whether I am here in the waterfalls, it seems that my breath is my amigo. It's my best amigo. It's my best friend. And if you make friends with your breath, I reckon you will need less and less, you will feel the need less and less to be around others. But if others come to you, you welcome it. See, there is a difference here. You have to understand that where I'm coming from here, what I'm talking about, is the aloneness that is open-hearted, okay? It is the aloneness of, I don't really want to, I don't feel the urge to be around others. But if others come, if there is a bunch of, the other day, there was a group of people coming here, and I was hanging out with them for a good half an hour. We were there, we took a shower up there, right? So it's an open-hearted aloneness. It's not an aloneness of leave me alone, I don't want to see you, I don't want to talk to you. It's more like it's open-hearted. It's like if there's a group of people, welcome. Hello, how are you? What role are you playing in the drama? What is your character like? But it remains an aloneness because I really don't feel the need, neither the urge nor the need to, I haven't really made any friends here. Like friends, where it's like, let's go hang out. Honestly, I could care less. I'm not even trying to make friends here. I sort of escaped out of Canada, by the way. I sort of just did. I went and announced, deleted Facebook, deleted Instagram. I had 2 friends that I told, and I just kind of I just sort of tippy-toed my way out of Canada, right? Just sort of unannounced, incognito kind of thing. right? Like, I got a lot of friends back in Canada, I really do. But if you're gonna see them all, and if you're, it's like and they're all busy with their lives, and it's like it's a whole thing. So just toe your way out, and just that's it, right? Because at the end of the day, like it's to find yourself is to be alone, to be all one, because you are alone. You have to understand that. You have to really understand that you're alone. There's only one of us here. I'm talking to myself here. That's why, I'm talking to myself. You're me, I'm you. We're one. It's one. It's one consciousness. You're alone. You create, why creation exists, the drama of the yin and the yang? It's because you, Atman, okay, you, the subjective you, the one of us, you actually felt a little bit lonely, and you wanted to create the illusion of connectivity. You wanted to create the illusion of two, because when you feel connected to something else, here I am connected to a friend. I feel connected to you as a friend, well, that's why the drama exists, by the way, is to feel this connectivity, like there's me and there's you, because really there's only one. There's only just a process. It's one consciousness. It's Brahman. That's it. There's just one of it. So you could think of creation, the world of duality, the yin and the yang. It's because God, A, got bored, B, felt lonely, got sad and felt lonely, and wanted to feel like he, she, it is not lonely. You see? But then eventually you have to come back and realize that actually there is only one of me. I am alone, all one. And that's okay, because that's beautiful. And I feel like the more and more you connect with that place inside of you, the less and less naturally you will want to spend time with others. Or let's say, the less and less likely you will want to come out of your way to spend time with others. You see what I'm saying? Like, I won't come out of my way to spend time with others. Take it as it may sound arrogant, it may sound whatever. I don't care how you interpret it. You interpret it according to your own state of consciousness. But the truth of the matter is, I'm not going to go out of my way to spend time with myself in other particular forms, when I could sit here and spend time with myself, just the same. Now, if you happen to come in here, there's a line in the Tao Te Ching. The sage does not pursue an encounter and does not avoid it. He's open to all possibilities. And I find myself in that particular place right now, where I just won't pursue an encounter. It's why? That's like, you know what I mean? Like, why would I pursue an encounter? I don't know. It doesn't make sense. But at the same time, I won't avoid it. If you were here, you wanted to hang out here, I'll hang out with you, and we'll talk and crack some jokes and have a good time. I won't avoid it. If there's an encounter coming my way, I will not avoid it. But I will not go out and pursue it. Yeah, I'm just much more comfortable being alone. My path is a solitary path. My path is not the path of a marriage. It could change, but I doubt it. It's not a path of long-term commitment to a particular... Because once you commit to something, say a marriage or a kid, having a kid or a child, I admire people who raise children. I admire people who have these social commitments. I really do. I see it. That's your particular trip. You've got a wife. You take care of her. She takes care of you, right? That's your trip. That's it. You're going to be playing that social role, and that's your trip. I don't see it as my trip. I don't see it at all. Because for me, when I feel most expansive, is when I am alone, all one, when I am in solitude. And the more and more time I spend in solitude, the more and more time I want to spend in solitude. It's a funny thing. It really is a funny thing. It's like the more I am alone, it's not like, oh, now I feel too alone, I want to go spend time with people. No, no, no. It doesn't work like that. Because once you get to sniff a little bit of the light, just a little sniff, oh, there's the light. It's like it pulls you into it, and it's like, oh, let's just, I want more of the light, please, more of the light. And more of the light is really about being in solitude. And all the great ones, all of them, think of them, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, you name it, any self-realized being, any being that operated at a high level of consciousness, basically valued solitude and aloneness above all else. And when they came back to society, they came back from that place of aloneness. You understand? They came back from a place of aloneness. Yeah, it's funny because, again, the more I am alone, all one, the more I'm in solitude, the more I want to be in solitude. Like, it's like the more I want to be all one, the more I want to be alone, all one. So we often think in our society that it's a bad thing, you ask somebody, do you have any friends, It's like you're supposed to say, I have friends. Like, you're supposed to say this, right? You're supposed to say, I have friends. You're supposed to say, oh yeah, like, I go out every weekend. Somebody asks you, do you go out? There's a programmed version of you that feels bad if you say, I don't go out, or, you say something else. It's a programming thing, because we're so programmed to play our social roles and to get stuck in them and to follow the herd, follow the flow of society. We're so conditioned to that. And again, another Lao Tzu, he wrote the Tao Te Ching. Legends say he rode out west, never to be seen again. Probably for the rest of his days in solitude. It's only in solitude, in all oneness, aloneness, that you're gonna write a jewel like the Tao Te Ching, which I'm gonna bring back on these videos. I wish I brought it here with me. I would have made a video on one of the verses. Nevertheless, there is a verse from the Tao Te Ching, and it translates into something like this. I will just paraphrase it. I will find the verse and make a video on it. It's something along the lines of, all people feel connected to one another. I alone feel alone, or something like that. And I completely resonate with that, because no matter where I go now, I feel like there's only one of me. I'm alone. Like, here are these people. They're coming here. They got 2 kids. Yeah, there's a family, nice looking family. I feel like I'm alone. It's like, that's me in another form. That's just me in another form. There's only one of us here. So it's that's what I'm talking about, the open-hearted aloneness. It's like, you understand this is a game. Now, any talking that we're going to talk to one another is going to be just a dance. It's going to be I dancing with myself in all my different manifestations, in all my different forms. I'm forever alone. There's a truth to that, by the way. There's truth to that. There's a lot of truth in our pop cultural memes. That forever alone thing. You're forever alone. Eternally alone. Your eternity, and you're eternally alone. There's only one of you. It's only one consciousness experiencing all these subjective different manifestations. You're forever alone. Accept it. And the quicker you can accept it, the more you can work with it. Because, if you could sit down and meditate for 2-3 hours just observing your breath, believe me, pretty soon you're not going to have the urge to go to a lot of these social events and group meditations, etc., etc. Pretty soon the urge will be lessened. You don't feel like, I need to go to do this. It's like, you just try it. Sit down and meditate. Just focus on your breath for 2-3 hours. If you could do that every day, just focus on your breath for 2-3 hours, pretty soon you realize you're the guru. You could do it. You could just sit here and you'll receive all the revelations if you actually persistently work. And here's the other thing, I got to give it to the internet also, because I do learn a great deal from teachers on the internet. Okay, so this is the equivalent of me going to a sangha or satsang, right? Satsang, sangha, that's the communal community in Buddhism and Hinduism, right? That's, I totally understand monastic life. And I feel like if there was no internet here, I probably would have gone into it. Because you want to surround yourself with other other beings that are also looking to spend time alone. I mean, what do you think people are doing in the monasteries, by the way? They're all just spending time alone. It may be a community, but they're all going in the aloneness, in the void. So it's like a bunch of people within the drama recognizing that there's only one consciousness, and saying, look, let's to go beyond the drama, let's sit down here, and by us being together in this community, let's all of us go into the aloneness. You see? And I totally understand, but I feel like now in the internet age, your equivalent of satsang and sangha could be just teachers on the internet that teach you. I got a lot of teachers here that teach me. I listen to Ram Dass's podcast daily, and I feel like I'm there. I feel like because he does it, he's speaking to a group of people. So in a way, yeah, these things are very helpful, right? But maybe because of the internet, I'll listen to a podcast for an hour and I'll feel like I got my dose of the community, of the other people, and now I could just be in my aloneness. Now I could take this wisdom and I could go into the inner guru and into the inner, the inner place. Another modern example, I like to think of Wim Hof as a modern shaman, and he really is in many ways. And he's pretty much a social butterfly now, but if you follow his story, he's also spent most of his early life in the solitude of nature, in the solitude of his breath, right? And it really seems like there is a particular phase in everyone's life when you're gonna make leaps in consciousness, right? You're gonna make leaps where you prefer just aloneness, solitude. And when you go back into society, when you throw back yourself into society and engage in whatever, I might, who knows? I mean, I might have a kid one day, have a family, and just be like one of those typical families you see on a postcard or something. A dog, a kid, a wife, who knows? I'm not gonna say no at all to that. But it definitely seems to me, just from observing other beings who have definitely achieved higher states of consciousness in one point of time or another, it seems to me that there is a certain period where you feel like you need to really leap, really go up in this state, really want to make significant leaps, where you sort of retreat back into the aloneness, retreat back into the solitude, and once you find that inner place, then you could throw yourself back into the drama, into the lila rasa, the divine dance. It's all, any societal game is the one dancing with itself. If you've got a wife, you're dancing with yourself in a role of a husband and a wife. You got a kid, same thing. It's all the lila rasa. That's what the Hindus call the lila rasa, the divine dance. It's all the divine dance, right? I'm sitting here in nature. I'm dancing with myself in the form of trees and water and etc. Right? So it really is like all forms of the divine dance, the lila rasa. And you could either get lost in the drama, or you could go back into solitude, back into aloneness, and then go back in there from a playful attitude and play. If you're playing a game and you don't know you're playing a game, you're lost in the game. Period. You're lost in the game. And I find it very difficult, Yeah, Ralph Waldo Emerson says, we're mentioning a lot of great people in this video. Ralph Waldo Emerson says that, what does he say? Yeah, he says that the most difficult thing for a man or a woman is to be authentic in a world that is constantly trying to change you. So I'm paraphrasing here, right? He says, like, it's the greatest achievement. It's the greatest thing to do. Is to be authentic, to be yourself in a world that's constantly trying to change you. And I really like, how are you going to recognize that it's a game, that it is not, you don't take the game seriously and you forget you're playing, if you don't go back into the aloneness? If Brahman is the only truth, the Hindus say Brahman is the only reality, Brahman is the only truth, right? The Muslims will say Allah. The different people, the ancient Chinese would say the Tao, right? The ancient Hebrews would say the Ruach. I think it's the Ruach. If you're going to say that's the only reality, then aloneness is the only reality. Everything else is an illusion. You see? So alone, all one, is the truth. All else is illusion. All else is Maya, as the Hindus would say. So then, society is Maya. The social roles we play are Maya. They're just games. But unless we play them recognizing their Maya, we get lost in them. And you're only really, I'm going to say that the only way for you to find that out is to retreat back into into the only truth. Brahman is the only truth. That's aloneness, that's solitude. Okay? So yeah, really, that's the more and more I go into this traveling thing, the more and more I spend time alone. Again, it's a drug, man. It's a drug. Somebody left a comment saying, the spiritual path is a drug. In many ways, it is. It is, but the thing is, you have to understand that it is the ultimate drug. It is the last drug, because it's all these drugs. I mean, everything is a drug. Orgasm is a drug. Everything is a drug, right? And when you feel like, when you orgasm, for example, that's a momentarily ego loss. Little petite, they call it in French, right? Ego death. Okay? All these they're like glimpses, right? So then there remains this desire for the light. And the closer and closer you get into it, yeah, it's addictive. In solitude, you become comfortable with solitude. It's addictive. It's addictive, and it becomes a lot of times more easy for you to be alone than to be with others. But of course, the place you want to be is the open-hearted aloneness. You understand? There's a difference between open-hearted aloneness and repulsive aloneness. One is balanced, one isn't balanced. One is the shadow side, one is the light side. Okay? So yeah, I'm really just, showing appreciation here, showing gratitude for where I am in the journey. And I really like where I am in the journey right now. I like where I am here. I like that I am in solitude. I like that I am alone. And yeah, I'm just really appreciative where I am in life. Very appreciative. God bless, very happy to be where I am. So that's about it. I want to thank all the Patreons and all the people who watched 27 minutes of this. Thank you, lovely, beautiful Patreons, for supporting this channel. I love you guys. And you're just basically me supporting me, really. You're me supporting me. I am alone. I am supporting myself. When we say the universe helps you surrender to the universe, it's to surrender to your higher self. So thank you, all the forms of me supporting me on Patreon. Love you guys. I love myself, which is, the game is a love simulator. It's a compassion simulator. It's just that's the game. And if you would like to make one-time donations via PayPal, you could do so. There's a link down below in the description as well. If you're not into the monthly thing, if you don't want to buy me a couple of coconuts a month, that's your call. But you maybe want to buy me one coconut just for now, right? 2 coconuts. So you could do so on the PayPal. There's a link in the description as well. All the love to myself in all these different manifestations. If you're ever here and you want to hang out, I'm totally open. Okay, in fact, I got one person that messaged me today saying I'm in Kopangan, one of you guys subscribers. So I got back to him saying, where are you at, man? Where are you at? So I'm always open, and I just want you to understand that I'm always open. It's open-hearted aloneness. I'm open for other forms of myself. Okay, it's just again, I prefer the aloneness. I'm not gonna lie there. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until next time, may the force be with you.